I wasn't born in the United States. I moved here from Puerto Rico when I was 17, got a great education, and eventually started a company that now employs 1,600 people. I am living the American dream. Let me tell you about my friend Roberto. Roberto is 20 years old, and he wasn't born in this country either. He moved here from Peru when he was a young kid. And Roberto dreams of living the American dream. 4 years ago, Roberto was graduating from high school at the top of his class, but he wasn't going to college. He was destined to work in the same kitchen his father works. That's because Roberto has a secret. Our country is the only home he's ever known, yet we call him an alien. He's never done anything wrong, yet we call him illegal. Because somewhere along the way, we decided that it was okay for kids like Roberto to pay the price for crimes they did not commit. Imagine putting a kid in jail because his or her parents rob a bank while they're sitting in the back of the car. That's what we're doing to these kids. By conservative measures, there's 1.1 million undocumented students under the age of 18 in our country today, and less than 5% of them will ever go to college. Not because they don't want to, but because we made it nearly impossible for them to do so. Because if you're an undocumented student in our country, it's illegal for you to attend public university in one of these 3 states. Because if you're an undocumented student in our country, you don't qualify for in-state tuition in any of these 38 states. Because if you're an undocumented student in this country, you don't qualify for federal financial aid in any state. Sadly, if you're an undocumented student, your American dream ends in grade 12. While we've been debating immigration reform for the last 12 years under the DREAM Act, we have left another million undocumented, now young adults, fall through the cracks, without education and without hope. But this is not an immigration issue. This is a human rights issue, because we have a gap in our system, a gap that keeps innocent kids in poverty. This year, an additional 80,000 kids will age themselves into that gap. It's ironic, because we pay for these kids' primary and secondary education, but then we cut them off. Politics aside, that's just bad business. This is what inspired us, a group of friends, to form Golden Door Scholars. It's a nonprofit group that tries to help undocumented kids go to college. We partner with 7 private universities on a 50-50 basis so that our funds could go twice as far. And in 1 month, with 1 local press release, we got 487 applications. Most of these kids are all American in every measure but one. We reviewed 487 applicants, phone screened the top 40, and met in person with the top 20. Our goal was to select the top 5, but that proved to be impossible. In August, these 13 kids, will attend college for the first time. Their future won't end at grade 12. In exchange for an education, we ask of them one thing: that when they achieve their success, they agree to pay it forward for someone else in need of education. But every day since we decided on who was going to college, I have thought about a young woman in Durham, North Carolina named Jackie. Jackie was our final cut. Jackie's a 4.7 GPA, Jackie is a volunteer at Duke's Children's Hospital. Jackie's doing everything right, everything I hope my kids do when they are that age. Jackie is not going to college. And there's something fundamentally wrong when 20% of all engineering and technology companies in our country in the last 15 years count with an immigrant founder. Yet we make it nearly impossible for Jackie, for Roberto, to become the next Sergey Brin. If you're wondering about Roberto, 3.5 years ago, my wife and I decided to pay for his education. This May, he graduates from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, with degrees in computer science, chemistry, and a minor in math. Thank you.